Hey everyone, it's LaShonda from Labors of Love with another Therapy Thursday video. So today I am going to talk about this concept of rightly assigning responsibility. Very often when a person is invited to explore their life and the experiences that they've had, it can be very difficult to do that sometimes because of feelings that you may be blaming or shaming maybe your parents or your caregivers or other people in your life. I have seen people really shy away from talking about like their childhoods and their past because we don't want to speak ill of the dead. Or parents are still living in the relationship that we have with them. We don't want to, make them seem like bad people. On the other hand, I've seen some people explore their past and only put emphasis on the roles and the things that other people have done. And so I want to talk a little bit about what I mean when I say rightly assigning responsibility. As we explore our templates, I talk about templates all the time. I define a template as the worldviews, the belief systems, and the behaviors that we develop as children growing up in our lives because of the experiences that we've had. And when we explore our templates, it's important for us to identify how did we learn what we know. And sometimes that's because people explicitly taught us something. But more than likely, it's because we looked around our family system and our social structures and we were like, oh, so this is how the world works. Because as a child, we don't realize that we're saying this is how my family works. We're learning that this is how the world works. In order for us to accurately do that, we have to rightly assign responsibility, which is different than blaming and shaming. So I'll give an example. A single parent, a single mom raising her children, working hard, 2 or 3 jobs, making sure that her children are not just like their needs are not minimally met, but she's able to exceed their material needs. They have food on the table, they have clothes on their back, they have safe, secure housing, they're able to participate in extracurricular activities. The whole nine. And then one of the children being raised by that mother can still feel that they weren't emotionally connected to their mom. And so they don't learn how to attune to someone else to feel validated, affirmed, but they know that their needs were met. This person exploring their template may say, my mom was a good mom. Well, it's not about good or bad, right or wrong. It's about rightly assigning that while mom definitely provided, you did not feel connected to her emotionally. And now you're having a difficulty connecting in other relationships. Rightful assignment means that we simply acknowledge the experiences we've had, even when other people tried really hard, were well-meaning. We sometimes say they did the best that they could. Whether or not that's true, we still have to rightly assign that you were not affirmed, you were not nurtured, you were not emotionally connected as a child. And so I wanted to define this because when we don't rightly assign responsibility, one of two things have a tendency to happen. Either that child at the time and then grows up to heap all responsibility on themselves. It must have been something wrong with me. This was my fault. I'm responsible, and we carry the shame of that. Or everything gets assigned to someone else. When we don't rightly assign responsibility to whom it belongs, we live out our lives, and then when something comes up, rejection, neglect, or anything comes up in our lives, it hasn't been rightly assigned. So we will then put that, or have the tendency to put that, on whoever's right in front of us. So our partner, then we heap all of that responsibility on the partner when it's not all the partner. The partner may have triggered or activated a feeling of rejection in you, but we can't assign 30 years of rejection to the partner who's in front of you because you haven't rightly assigned the neglect and rejection that you've been experiencing throughout your life. So part of why it's important to rightly assign is because if we don't rightly assign it, we wrongly assign it. And when we wrongly assign it, we're either walking around carrying the shame, pain, anger, and devastation of others that doesn't belong to us, or we're just lugging it around until we can put it off on someone else. And so I'm hoping that this helps people possibly sit in a posture of exploration to look at your lived experiences. How did I come to know the things I know? Well, in looking at that, you're going to have to look at what you've been explicitly taught and what you implicitly absorbed. And when you do that, rightly assigning doesn't mean shaming and it doesn't mean blaming, but it means that this is where this came from and this is where I'm going to rightly assign it. So I want to clarify that. And I also want to say that this was a specific request. Someone had a question about rightly assigning. And last Therapy Thursday, I said, hey, if you have questions or you want to know, please let me know. So I just want to let you know that I have taken those requests. I have heard you, and I will make sure that I answer the questions in depth that I can about the questions you have. If you want to suggest Therapy Thursday videos or you have more questions, please reach out to me at www.thelaborsoflove.com. We're on all the major social media outlets. Don't forget our YouTube channel and our podcast. Until we connect again, you all be well.